Hey guys, what's up? It's Blue here again, and this week in the Bolt Rack, I'm going to talk a little bit about the defensive abilities that you as a Demon Hunter can use to keep yourself from getting killed. Now, keep in mind that as a Demon Hunter, we're a pretty squishy class relative to the others. We don't have a lot of passive defenses like the other classes that are also in the game, but at the same time, we're also an incredibly mobile class and very difficult to pin down. So I'm going to go over the 3 skills in the defensive slot as well as the Vault skill, which I consider as a defensive move, even though it has more uses than just that, and it's definitely saved my skin a couple of times. The first one I'm going to go over is the Caltrops, and you get this one pretty early on. It's just a trap you lay down, monster goes in it, it gets slowed when they're sprung, and it lasts a little bit of time. And there's a couple variations for this rune. One makes it better slow, deals damage. You do more damage when you stand in it. There's a lot of cool uses for this. It's a really good one for kite builds. And that's one of the things that we do as a Demon Hunter is kite. So you want to use this ability for when you're using a kite kind of build or to try to group things up. I actually killed Iskadu, if you know the first boss in Act 4. Way back in the early days of Inferno, where everything pretty much one-shot you, and the only way to get gear for that act was to kill stuff in that act, and it was horrible. With my one-hit wonder Demon Hunter in that, I got killed by one hit. I literally used the rune that dealt damage with these, and I just laid a trail behind me and just ran around the map until he died. It was very interesting. But there's a lot of uses for these, and it's definitely kind of that repertoire of kiting enemies, keeping them away from us. The second one I'm going to talk about is the smoke screen, and this is one of my personal favorites. It says invisible, but it really should say invincible, because it actually prevents you from taking any damage at all, and it does cause monsters to no longer target you. Keep in mind, however, that they will continue to move towards where you were, but they may also swing as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. Use that time to get away, or if you're just popping it real quick to get a quick face tank in, then go ahead and do that. But you really should try to use it to get out of a dangerous situation or to cross through a dangerous situation, such as an arcane sentry or something. And there's a couple runes for this as well, including cost reductions, movement speed boost when you use it. But that's kind of covered by another passive that I like to use, and I'll get into that another time. And then there's one that increases duration by 50%, so it's a second and a half versus just a second. And there's even one for hatred generation. So there's a couple ways you can use this spell, and you can kind of pick out how you want to use it. The next one that I'm going to talk about real quick is Shadow Power. Shadow Power is pretty much required for any high MP builds, specifically Shadow Power Gloom. And what Shadow Power on its own does is it gives you a very high amount of lifesteal, 35%. There's a rune that actually increases that by even more, but the rune that you're really going to look at if you're going to use a spell is Gloom. Gloom right now gives you a 35% damage reduction on top of the lifesteal that you get. Now you combine this with something like the Sentry and Perfectionist, and I'm talking about the Guardian Sentry that gives you the happy bubble, keeps you from dying. You combine those and you get quite a lot of damage mitigation from that alone, plus your resists. And this is the closest way that we can become tanky. But if you've ever watched somebody do it or do it yourself, you'll notice that your health still does a big spike, so you do need sufficient damage to actually keep your health pool up. Otherwise, you will die. But this is pretty much required for any MP10 build. Monsters just last far too long to really do anything else but this, and they hit far too hard, especially if you're looking at a hardcore view. If you're going on the higher monster powers, this is your go-to ability and pretty much is required. It's also used in snapshotting rapid fire. So if you cast Shadow Power, then you cast Rapid Fire, you will snapshot the lifesteal part of it. And as long as you channel that rapid fire, you will not lose the life steal. And so you can pretty much infinitely stand there until your hatred bar runs out and be constantly regenerating life. Keep in mind for Reaper of Souls, this is getting nerfed. It will be a life on hit first off, and Gloom will be a 15% instead of a 35% reduction. Hopefully this keeps it from being that mandatory ability that you need, because I'm not a personal fan of it. It feels very un-Demon Hunter-y, as awesome as it looks, because you get these cool shadow tendrils, almost like an angel, but just make it all purple, black, whatever, red. Pick your color by your rune. They all change different colors. It's kind of cool. But it's not very Demon Hunter-y to be all tanky and stuff, in my honest opinion. But hey, everyone's different. The next ability that I'm going to talk about, this one isn't actually in the defensive tree. It's actually found in the hunting section. It's Vault. It's a very, very good skill. It gives you even more movement, and this is where a lot of your movement's actually going to come from in most cases. And it has a lot of good runes that supplement that. Anywhere from you do damage as you're vaulting through action shot to Trail of Cinders, which is really good. It has an amazing interaction with Shadow Power. When you deal damage to things as they walk through it, and you're getting life back from that. And then there's the Acrobat, I believe it's called, which allows you to use it, and it puts on a 10-second cooldown, no discipline costs. And then there's Tumble, which actually causes it to have a 6-second counter after you use a vault, to where your next vault will be half the cost. And keep in mind, it costs 8 from the get-go, and then it's 4 at that half. So for 12 discipline, you can get a double vault versus 14 or 12 if you rune it for a Shadow Power or Smoke Screen. So just something to keep in mind. It's a really solid skill for evading enemies. I've actually lost a Demon Hunter because I didn't have Vault at the time, and I had a champion pack fly down on me at the same time as I was fighting a rare pack, and I got boxed in by monsters. I couldn't kill them fast enough. Arcane Sentries were everywhere. It wasn't very pretty. I ran out of discipline. Smoke Screen was down, and I just kind of went splat. Because that's what Demon Hunters do when they try to tank without Gloom, is they go splat. It's not a very pretty picture. So I now run Vault religiously at this point. It's very good skill, very good to get used to. Just be careful when you're using it to run around the map and get places really quickly, because you don't want to find yourself discipline starved. But that's it for this week, guys. Pretty short one. Nothing too crazy, just kind of going over your basic defenses. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you want to see. Any kind of another one on another next column on. I got a couple ideas, but I would love to hear from y'all. Reaper of Souls is close. It is very close. I'm currently trying to get another Demon Hunter up to Inferno so I can try to kill Diablo before that happens. So I'll kind of see how that goes. I'm really hoping to finish that soon, next couple weeks hopefully, so I can get some PTR time. I've been splitting my time when I'm streaming. So be sure to catch me. I kind of jump between both to test out some things, so I can provide some feedback while at the same time I'm trying to finish Inferno, because, I mean, gearing up right now isn't a huge concern in Vanilla because of all the changes they've made. It's more of get your bucket list done, get your Paragon levels, get your Inferno kills if you haven't already. I'm very late to the game because I started late. Well, I started hardcore late, but so yeah, I will see you all next time. Be sure to comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Like it. Follow me on Twitch. My stream is twitch.tv/DragonUser55. I stream WoW raids pretty regularly, but my Diablo specifically is on it's Tuesday and Wednesday nights from approximately 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. That's rough. I might start a little earlier. I might end a little later, that kind of deal. So we'll kind of see how that goes. But those times I will be streaming Diablo. I'm probably going to start including Saturday mornings into that too. I will have more details on that. But until then, see you guys next time.